Imagine it's a penalty shootout and everything is on the line. The goalkeeper walks to his spot, bounces on his toes, and stares down the penalty taker. The ball is struck. The goalkeeper dives, full stretch to the left, but the ball rolls calmly into the right corner. Now, here's what I'm wondering. What if he had just stayed still? There's a study published in the Journal of Economic Psychology that tracked over 200 penalty kicks at the highest level of football. And what they found was this: goalkeepers who stayed in the center of the goal saved penalties around 30% of the time, while the ones who dived saved them around 14% of the time. Why would a trained professional with access to the best sports science available keep choosing the worst possible option? And why is nobody talking about it? Welcome to the part 3 of the hidden science of the World Cup. I'm Judge Blue Kelly, and today we are going inside the mind of a person making a decision under pressure. And you'll see why this actually goes beyond football and involves every one of us. Let's start with the actual data. What does the data shows? Because it's more striking than most people realize. There was a study done by Bar-Eli and his colleagues, and it was published in 2007. And this is the most comprehensive analysis of penalty kick behavior ever done. In this experiment, in this research, they tracked over 280 kicks from top-level football. Not just where the ball went, but what the goalkeeper chose to do and what actually happened. And here's what they found. Penalty kicks are distributed roughly across 3 zones: the left, the center, and the right. Now, goalkeepers dive left or right about 94% of the time, but stay central only 6% of the time. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When a penalty goes to the center, which happens about a third of the time, a goalkeeper who stayed central would stop it almost every time. But because most goalkeepers are already committed to a dive, they leave the center completely wide open. Now, the save percentage breaks down like this, right? Staying central saves around 33% of all penalties faced. Diving left saves around 14%. Now, when you dive right, you will be able to save around 12%. Now, the center is clearly by a significant margin the most effective place to stay. And yet, professional goalkeepers keep diving over and over again, match after match. The question still remains, why isn't the data changing the behavior? I mean, the coaches, they are aware of this. The answer has a name, and it is what psychologists call action bias, and is one of the most deeply embedded patterns in how human beings make decisions. Action bias is simply the tendency to prefer doing something over doing nothing, even when doing nothing is the objectively better choice. It's the feeling that movement signals effort and stillness, on the other hand, signals failure of nerve. So, for a goalkeeper facing a penalty, the psychology runs something like this: if I dive and miss, at least I appear to have tried. I made a decision and it just didn't go my way. Nobody can say I didn't give everything. But if I stand still and the ball goes past me, it will look like I didn't even try or that I'm not good enough. Now, to put it succinctly, the experience of being seen to act feels completely different from the experience of being seen to do nothing. But Eli and his team put it this way: the norm is to dive, and when you follow the norm and fail, you feel far less regret than when you deviate from the norm and fail. And the truth is, nobody wants to be the goalkeeper who stood still while the ball went past them, even if, again, statistically, standing still was the right call. That's action bias in action, basically. And the reason it matters is that this exact same pattern operates not only in football, but in almost every high-stakes decision environment that we humans have to navigate. Because here's the thing: once you know action bias exists, you start seeing it everywhere. For example, research on medical decision-making shows that doctors overprescribe, they overtest, and they overtreat. And it's not because it leads to better outcomes, but because prescribing something feels like doing something compared to sending a patient home with no prescription and no referral. That feels like negligence. It feels like doing nothing. So doctors act, even when not acting is the right call. We also see these patterns among investors. Studies show that investors who trade frequently, the ones who act on every signal, every fluctuation, every piece of news, consistently underperform investors who buy and hold and do almost nothing. The market rewards patience and inaction, but human psychology rewards the feeling of being in control, of moving money, of doing something with it. So most investors trade too much and they lose money. Think about politicians responding to crisis. The public demands action. Something must be done, right? And so something is done. A new policy, or it could be a new law, even a new initiative. Now, this is whether or not the evidence supports it, whether or not a more patient response would have produced a better outcome. It doesn't matter at this point because being seen to act is essential. Whether the action actually works is secondary. You see, the goalkeeper diving on a penalty isn't an anomaly. He is every one of us. Every time we feel the pressure to be seen doing something, because that pressure is human. It's almost universal and it costs us in health, in money, and in policy. So, why don't goalkeepers just change if the data has been clear for nearly 20 years? Part of the answer is that knowing a bias exists doesn't automatically free you from it. Action bias isn't a mistake people make because they are ignorant. It's a deeply wired response to social pressure and the fear of being judged. Think about what actually happens when a goalkeeper tries to stand still. The first time he does it and he saves it, everything is fine. No one complains. But the next time he stands still and the ball goes past him and into the goal, the commentators, the manager, and the fans will question why he didn't even try. You see, he gets second guessed by people operating entirely on intuition. And that social pressure, that anticipation of judgment, feeds directly back into the action bias. It feels safer to do what everyone expects, even when what everyone expects is the wrong thing to do, but it feels safe. Now, here's my conclusion. As I end this video, how many times in your own life have you chosen to act, to move, to intervene, to do something, not because you actually believe it was the right call, but because you felt that doing nothing was unbearable, especially under the watchful eyes of others? That is what the penalty kick is really showing us. It isn't a goalkeeper making a mistake, but a human being doing what human beings do, choosing the comfort of movement over the discipline of stillness in a moment where everything seems to be on the line. So, again, you see, nothing in your life is as ordinary as it looks. And I'm Judge Blue Kelly. Until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself and God bless you.